Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. News and prophecy, linking the things happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures. All right, as we enter into Esau's so-called new year, all right, which is going to be a through year, all right, all right, for those of you Israelites who are not in line with Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, as well as the people in this world, all right, as the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, all right, and the Apostle Tahar coined this year, all right, the hopeful year of deliverance and destruction. You see? And great things are coming for those of you who are of the household of faith. All right, although we endure hell and hardness and catch hell, great things are coming for us, all right, who are doing what we are supposed to do as we walk in the Spirit, putting off the deeds of the flesh, fighting the good fight of faith. All right, do not be overcome by this world as it is wicked. Okay, the Lord has allow this world to wax more and more wicked so that the elect, all right, wouldn't have any choice, all right, but to lean on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. As we see, this world offers us nothing, all right. We use this world as not to abuse it, as we have our daily lives, we have our daily bread, but things are getting ready to change. As we enter into this so-called new year, as you can see, this was last night. U.S. Capitol struck by lightning on New Year's Eve. 4 iconic buildings struck in one night. See that? It says, Donald Trump supporters, which boy are they in for a rude awakening. Donald Trump is getting ready to be used by the elite to turn up the volume on you people, man. Speculate over whether a divine message was being sent after lightning strikes reportedly hit the U.S. Capitol building and Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Okay? And the One World Trade Center and Empire State Building in New York City on New Year's Eve. Footage and images shared online popularly showed all 4 buildings being struck as revealers gathered across the United States to see, all right, in the new year, with thousands gathering in New York Times Square for the iconic ball drop, despite heavy rain being forecast. All right, and you can clearly feel something in the air. All right, this mysterious fog is popping up, all right, since Trump has been, elected. He's been kind of silent, but the Lord is getting ready to judge, man. All right, check this out. U.S. Capitol building struck by lightning as we close out 2024, heading in 2025. God is sending us a message. All right, and apparently there were other buildings, iconic buildings. Okay, not only the U.S. Capitol, but the Washington Monument, the One World Trade Center, and the Empire State Building were supposedly all struck. All right, let's get the book of 2 Thessalonians before we get into, some articles and videos that I have. Okay, this is 2 Thessalonians 1 and 4. It says, so that we ourselves glory in you in the churches of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua for your patience and faith. Okay, for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure. Okay, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of God. All right, there's a reason, as we've, as the scriptures say, in much wisdom is much grief. Learning the ways of righteousness, putting on the elect. It's not the easiest thing to do in a world, filled with iniquity, wickedness, temptation. But we're fighting the good fight of faith. Patience and faith are necessary. Suffering, long suffering. These are things that we have to put on, all right, as defense against the fiery darts of Satan. See? And it is a test of our faith as the Lord is allowing this man, all right, in this world to go completely left. All right, we have a righteous cause, which this world is totally against. Okay, so, receiving this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding comes with a test and a good fight of faith. And it's a manifest token of the righteous judgment of the Heavenly Father, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of the Most High, for which ye also suffer. See? Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And to you who are troubled, rest with us, as everyone else is making lies their refuge. All right, we're resting in the promise. We're resting in the hope of what's to come. See? And while we're waiting, the Heavenly Father is doing all manner of judgments and things that we should be rejoicing in. To you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. Okay? Because it's getting ready to get so bad, pursuing to Daniel, the 12th chapter, that the angels are getting ready to have to intercede. Right? Daniel 12:1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. All right, a high ranking angel in the Heavenly Father's host. Remember, he is the Lord Yahweh, the Lord of hosts. What is a host? A host of angels, an army, a military. Okay, as a matter of fact, someone left a comment on one of the brothers' videos. Well, it says the Most High only. So, so where does Yahweh Shai come into the picture? Well, in Egypt, did not he send an angel? But we see this word that the Lord of hosts. Let's see if we can get a better one. Of the Lord of hosts, the word hosts in the Hebrew is tazabah. That which goes forth, army, warfare, host, army, organized army, host of angels. See, the angels are going to fight for us, man. Daniel 12:1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble, which we know Yahweh Shai is at the forefront of our salvation, our deliverance. But there's other angels that will be with him, and they all have their job and duty as well. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even unto that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life. See that? So those who were chosen from the foundation of the earth are going to be delivered. So to you who are troubled, rest with us, understanding, all right, that we're getting ready to see this world fall. We're getting ready to see a lot happen, as the elite only have but a short time. Okay? And we know from 2020 on to the present, that marked the beginning of them establishing the new world that they want. And as we can see, the same play from 2020 with this whole chicken flu thing is right before your eyes as well. So to you who are troubled, okay, persecuted, catching hell, you long for righteousness to be set up on the planet Earth. You're battling your demons to the best of your ability, right? You rest with us when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels and flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not our power and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe. For our testimony, all right, which is in the volume of the book, all right, the testimony of, the disciples, the apostles, the prophets. Okay, it was believed among you in that day. Let's read it again. When he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. All right. And here it is. We see the hopeful elect being raised up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, as the scripture said would happen in Revelation, the 11th chapter. Okay. In 11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell on them which saw them. See, so the world is watching the rising up of the elect. They're mocking, they're scoffing, but synonymously, the Heavenly Father is coming through, and the words spoken by the prophets, all right, are being made manifest in the form of effects and signs right before the eyes of the world. And the next step after we awaken, and undergo our persecution is that what? Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And at that same hour, there was a great earthquake, and a 10th part of the city fell. See, and that's the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, so this is nothing more than a sign, all right, that the Heavenly Father is getting ready to bring, all right, the pain to this place. But before that destruction comes, okay, we know hard times are set to hit, all right, Babylon the Great and the whole entire world, as the elites of this world are banding together, okay, to establish their NWO. And then within that, they don't agree. Okay. Now, since Donald Trump has been, so-called elected, you can see that there's something happening with him, his presidency. We see the likes of Elon Musk popping up. Okay. Pretty much saying this and this and that. He was at one point hated and supposed to be against the globalist agenda. But now you see him being accepted by, all right, these so-called globalists and elites. Okay, as we're going to show you. Because this man was nothing more than a puppet the whole damn time. And a lot of you are getting ready to lose your damn minds when you find out that America is not going to be made great again under Donald Trump. And he never meant any well for you people. All right, he was just, all right, in the grand scheme of things, the two horns like a lamb. You have the left and the right paradigm, but ultimately it's two wings of the same eagle, and you're headed to the same direction, which is tyranny. All right, your rights being taken away, economic collapse, and eventually rebuilding the world under a technocracy in which you as the people will have to merge with technology, AI, be brought up into this new digital grid, surveilled, and eventually surveilled under the skin. Now it says Donald Trump warns that the U.S. may be forced into economic depression. Now, before we even get into that, all right, New Year's, all right, already, as we can see here, Chinese hackers breach U.S. Treasury network, gain access to some files. Already, there's the threat, all right, of this. There's the threat of that, okay? So now the U.S. Treasury has been hacked, okay? We can clearly see that they're setting up a situation where they're going to have to bring peace and safety. We had a so-called terrorist attack, okay? See if we can bring that up.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Lindsay Reiser, and we are following that breaking news out of New Orleans. At least 10 people are dead and dozens more injured after city officials say a man intentionally drove a pickup truck into a crowd. Witnesses and law enforcement say that happened at a high rate of speed and that the suspect did so intentionally. Now, it happened on the world-famous Bourbon Street overnight and Bourbon and Canal Streets as people were celebrating the new year around 3:15 in the morning local time. Officials say the man drove around barricades and hurtled down the street before opening fire on police officers. Now, 2 police officers were hit by gunfire and rushed to the hospital. They are in stable condition. CBS News has learned the suspect is dead, shot and killed by police. Officials say a long gun was recovered from the scene and potential explosive devices were also recovered and are being analyzed. The city's mayor referred to this as a likely terrorist attack, and the FBI is saying it is investigating it at the scene, and potential explosive devices were also recovered and are being analyzed. The city's mayor referred to this as a likely terrorist attack, and the FBI is saying it is investigating it as terrorism. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now from West Palm Beach, Florida. Ed, what are we...
A terrorist with explosives just runs into a crowd of people, killing 10, right? The treasury has been hacked. Okay, the Pope is opening so-called portals. I mean, it's all kind of madness going on in this world. Okay, they are getting ready to come down with great wrath, because what do you think this is all going to lead to? Let's keep listening.
Hearing first from the White House.
Lindsay, good to be with you. Yes, the president actually just moments ago, as you were beginning this latest round of reporting, just issued a statement by way of the White House saying that he has been briefed all morning long by his top Homeland Security officials and reiterates that the FBI is in charge of this. The statement reads in part, "I'm grateful for the brave and swift response of law enforcement in preventing even greater death and injury. I have directed my team to ensure every resource is available as federal, state, and local law enforcement work assiduously to get to the bottom of what happened as quickly as possible and to ensure that there is no remaining threat of any kind." That's notable because it suggests that perhaps there's still a concern, at least among federal and state officials, that maybe there are others out there who've been involved in this in some way that have yet to be discovered. He says he'll continue to receive updates throughout the day and have more to say later. There is no justification, he says, for violence of any kind, and we will not tolerate any attack on any of our nation's communities. We're here in West Palm Beach, of course, because President-elect Trump lives here. He is currently over at his golf course, but issued a statement through his Truth Social platform a little while ago, beginning by sort of suggesting "I told you so," saying that when I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. What he's suggesting there is that whoever this is has come into the country either legally or illegally. We don't know that yet about the...
Boom. All right, marking the beginning, all right, of coming down on the Northern Kingdom, which we know that's just a buzz term. They're gonna come down on all of the people. All right, yeah, you Israelites will be a target, but they're getting ready to come down on everybody. All right, especially those who oppose, all right, what they're trying to do. All right, all kind of psyops. As a matter of fact, there was this situation. I didn't bring up the article. Yeah, earthquakes are increasing. All right, but the Trump Tower, something happened there as well. Let me give me 1 second. The Trump Tower was shut down. Boom, there you go. Police activity closes road near Trump Tower on Las Vegas Strip. Trump Tower explosion horror as thick smoke rises in Las Vegas. Okay, so it's all kind of stuff that we can see already. They're starting this year off with a boom. All right, and this is going to be the theme. All right, as you can see here, Trump said, "When I said the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Dems and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has seen before. Our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of New Orleans." All right. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this pure act of evil. See? So you have the threat of terror, right? You have the talking point of all of these illegals being allowed over into our country, which that was brought about by the left. Again, the mess that the left so-called created, Okay, is supposed to be cleaned up by the right, but they're all ultimately flying towards the same goal, which is chaos. Revelation 13 and 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, which this is America, Babylon the Great, the revival of Rome, the final, all right, kingdom, all right, and power before the Lord takes this place down. And through this system will that charagma come. Okay, and I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, so the two horns like a lamb represent the Democratic and Republican, which in ancient Rome you had the plebeians and the patricians, right? And he speaks as a dragon, symbolizes his draconian measures and laws, as Draco or dragon speaks of harsh policies. Okay, and Draco, the Athenian lawgiver, goes back to the Greeks. All right, which the spirit of the Greeks resides in this beast system as well. Although we know Rome gave them their dominance. Okay, this place takes from the Greek customs as well. The beginning of the very beast system we live in started with the Greeks, but Rome gave them their power, seat, and authority. So he has two horns like a lamb, in which you can see the Democratic and Republican parties have caused all kind of division. Look at the recent elections and how divided America was. Okay, and he spake as a dragon. Okay. So again, one side is supposed to save you from the other, all right? But now all of a sudden, okay, you have this, who they say could be illegal, you know, riding through a crowd of people with explosives. Okay, you see what's happening at the Trump Tower. Okay, again, they're getting ready to shut this place down, all right, as more and more collapse comes, okay? More and more collapse and more catastrophic events. Okay. So this is going to be used as a means to come down with great wrath. Okay. To police the people more. That everybody comes up under a digital grid. To be here in our country, you're going to have to what? Be identified on a digital grid. Okay. But we'll get into that. Donald Trump warns the U.S. may be forced into economic depression, all right, as 36 trillion debt crisis spirals out of control. Okay. President-elect Donald Trump has warned that the U.S. could be on the brink of a depression as he attacked the debt ceiling deal agreed by former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Okay. In which it says the president-elect, who failed to get a new provision raising the debt ceiling passed by Congress, attacked the Democrats on social media, saying that they would prefer depression as long as it hurt the Republican Party. So basically what they're saying is that before the Dems get out of office, okay, they're making America such a big mess. And Trump is now saying, well, look, it's so much of a big mess that we may go into an economic debt crisis, economic collapse. Okay. And let's see here. What happens during an economic collapse, which we're witnessing economic depression? All right. What happens? Okay. It says an economic depression is a prolonged period of significant economic decline that may have negative consequences, including unemployment. We see that as all of these different, companies are shutting their buildings down. Okay, going out of business. GDP, the value of goods and services produced and sold by a country or countries, declines. All right, and this is all foretold in the book of in all of the prophecies, man. Isaiah the 19th chapter, Luke 21, the perplexity, and this is just the beginning of it. Customer confidence, all right? Consumer confidence falls as people worry about job security and spending. Okay, you can't, all right, the extras are out of the door, man. Okay, you have to focus on paying your mortgage, your rent, all right, pay the light bill, which is high, sky high. Groceries sky high. Okay, so it leads to a, the grinding season. All right. The mirth. All right. And joy is pretty much on a back burner. Okay. In investments, corporate investments and individual investment decrease, bankruptcies, stock market. All right. And that's eventually, it's all going to crash. Credit, available credit from bank drops, trade, reduced trade in global commerce, currency, failing currency values, which is going to lead to them changing the currency. See, through this collapse that they're getting ready to bring, everything, once they so-called rebuild, will be digital. And Trump is on par with that. Okay? Inflation, low to no inflation. All right? Savings, and an increased savings rate among those who still have money to save. So the people who do have money, because they see how bad things are, they're holding on to their money. All right? Which is leading to what? Businesses failing. Okay? A depression is similar to a recession, but it's usually much larger in scale and duration. A depression can affect the global economy, while a recession is usually contained within the originating country. So these are just a few things that we see happening right before our very eyes. Okay? This is an article here, 11 signs that show, all right, the slow motion collapse of the U.S. economy is far advanced than what most people think. Now, when you get the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, okay, this is a burden to Egypt. And these are the things that have been prophesied, all right, from the time that I came in, okay, but these are things that the prophets foretold, right? Let's just get to the point. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And we're seeing nothing but division, all right, which a kingdom divided will not stand, all right? And that's just one of many ways the Lord, all right, is setting up the collapse of this place. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. People are, leaning on technology now, AI, all right, to make up for the lack of mirth, because the joy of the mirth has ceased, all right, in the earth. Let's get that, all right, in Isaiah 24. All right, clearly you can see something's going on. Something's wrong. Okay? Isaiah 24:7, the new wine mourneth, and the vine languisheth, which, wine and drinking is associated with mirth and having a good time, right? The vine languisheth, it even tastes different, okay? Alcohol, it don't have the, wine and alcohol, it don't have the same feel, because what we're finding out is that the elites of this world, everything that the regular people, the common working people have access to, it's polluted, it's tainted. They're trying to kill off a whole bunch of people. Okay, spraying all kind of chemicals into the atmosphere, right? And it's coming out now what's all in the foods, and now they're supposedly doing something about it. Another distraction, man. Okay, the what needs to be done about it is foretold in this chapter, where the elites are chained, put in chains, and given a judgment. That's what needs to happen. Okay? It's too far going left for anything of this world to fix it. AI ain't gonna fix it. Technology ain't gonna fix it. Okay, the government, they ain't gonna fix it, man. The only way this earth can be set back in order is through, all right, a correction, a great correction, which is gonna come from on high, man. We need out. So all the merry-hearted do sigh. Okay, those who were once happy, and because people try to act happy on social media, and in this world, which people who are wicked, they're happy, but ultimately you can clearly see the everything is going left, man. Okay. And people looked at Trump as this new face of, you know, bringing him back to some sort of, you know, merry-heartedness. But nah, we're going to show you Trump is getting ready. He set you people up for the okie doke, man. The mirth of the tabrets ceaseth. Okay. MAGA is already at each other's throats. Y'all thought that that was going to last? The mirth of the tabret ceaseth. Music is completely demonic. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man can't come in. So you're seeing all of these stores shutting down. Buildings are being abandoned. So at the same time, people are leaning on, you know, voodoo, witchcraft, AI to comfort them, to make them feel as though they have something to live for. Right? And it ain't working. The elites are leaning on the left hand. You got the Pope talking about he's opening up portals. All right. The Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, which that could be Donald Trump. All right. Who is Nero Caesar in the reincarnation. Right. And what was he known for? Okay. Putting hell on the followers of Yahweh Shai. Blaming them. Because as this world falls, they're going to blame terrorists and domestic terror and people who are against, you know, they're blaming people like us for America falling. All of the blame is going to be put ultimately on us when it's all said and done. While the true problem of the whole entire planet Earth is the elites, the rulers of this world. 2025 is getting ready to be live. And if you ain't rooted in the faith, you're going to crumble, man. So the Lord has set up a cruel, the Lord said he's going to give the Egyptians, which this is the modern day Egypt, if you can receive it, he's going to give them over into the hand of a cruel Lord. A fierce king shall rule them, saith the Lord of hosts. All right. And we'll get that later in the GNT. It's going to be political turmoil, sides fighting against one another. They ain't going to want to listen to the presidents because they're going to find out that even Trump, who they thought meant well for them, is ultimately against them. Okay? And the waters shall fail from sea to sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up. And when you go down, Isaiah 19:14, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt. Okay? And that's going to set up the collapse, and then ultimately universal basic income, food rations, where you're going to have to be entered into a system in order to live. Okay? And then we're going to see those of you who really put this world off, man. Okay? The Lord has mingled a very perverse spirit here. All right, so that what? Judgment can be justified. A very backward spirit is here, man. Okay? And Egypt is error in every work thereof. Okay? It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. This is speaking to an economic decline. Okay? This article gives 11 signs that the slow motion collapse of the U.S. economy is far more advanced than people think. Okay? And it says when the economy is in good shape, holiday spending increases. And see, people are doing videos, man, they don't even feel like the holidays no more. Okay? In 2024, only 16% of Americans say that they're going to spend more than last year, and 35% of Americans are saying that they're going to spend less. All right, so you can feel that squeeze, man. Okay? Americans this holiday season say that they are seeing a ghost of Christmas past inflation. Okay, meaning what? It's going to take more dollars to get less goods. Okay, so something that was $20, years ago, now you have to spend $60 to get that, and the quality of it is lessened. This is all foretold in the Bible. Okay, and we're witnessing it come to pass, man. Okay, perplexity. It says the job openings is the lowest that has ever been. Okay, the manufacturing numbers are getting extremely dismal. Okay, thanks to rapidly rising mortgage rates, the average U.S. home buyer, all right, just lost. All right, it's just weeks. See, our cost of living crisis is out of control. Okay. Lending Tree survey discovered that nearly a quarter of all households couldn't pay their entire power bill. Electricity is super high. Okay. Households reduce spending on necessary things within the past year in order to pay utility. All right. Demand from food banks is widening. Why is the demand at food banks over all the country higher than it has ever been before? Okay. And more, man. But store closings, so we're witnessing a collapse in which what's going to be the solution to that? So let's go to this video here. Give me 1 second.
Welcome everyone to the Hurting Humanity channel. Donald Trump posted a cryptic message on his Truth social media account where he said, "Where are you? When are you coming to the center of the universe, Mar-a-Lago? Bill Gates asked to come tonight. We miss you and X. New Year's Eve is going to be amazing. Donald J. Trump." And for those of you that need a translation, Donald Trump meant to supposedly send this message privately to Elon Musk. Now, we know these things don't happen by accident when it comes to these people, because for the most part, these people aren't even making the actual tweets themselves. So then you say, well, why do they want that out in the universe, so to speak? Why do they want MAGA and the Trump supporters even hear Donald Trump thinking about having Bill Gates come to Mar-a-Lago? Donald Trump would meet with Bill Gates. He's telling Elon Musk that he misses him, even though every other second we see them together, whether it's at SpaceX launches or UFC fights. These two are as thick as thieves. They pretty much are like a human centipede with one another. So what am I getting at, and what are we seeing here? This might actually be the beginning of a heel turn. I talked about this a couple of months ago, where if Donald Trump was put in power, that we would begin to see a shift where Donald Trump would begin to turn heel on his MAGA supporters, and they wouldn't know how to react to it. So all the warnings that they got about Donald Trump, that they said that we were all crazy and we were all conspiracy theorists. Well, ever since Donald Trump has been put in power.
Because again, he's giving you Americans hope that America is going to be great, be made great again. He's giving you hope that now you have a president that's against the globalist agenda. You even got certain of our people caught up in this madness, believing the lie. Proverbs 26 and 25. All right. I started 24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips. By peace he's going to destroy many. All right, which that's Antiochus, but same spirit, that which then is now. All right, the same mindset. Okay, because he has his eyes on destroying you Israelites. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and you average American everyday people are going to lose. And layeth up deceit within him. MAGA. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Let's read this in the NLT. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. because their hearts or their minds are full of many evils, man. And again, Trump was always a pawn set up, okay, by the elite. They have a perfect plan. I mean, these devils, man, the heart is deep, because you have to understand this earth is huge. So the plan that they have ain't an easy task. So they need as much deception, as many souls, all right, to be led astray as possible, man. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return on him. Okay? So this is what's getting ready to happen. But yeah, let's keep listening.
Things have gotten awfully quiet, and you can feel that people are starting to get a little bit suspicious about where does Donald Trump align now after being put into office, because why all of a sudden has the media and the government themselves opened their arms to Donald Trump? Remember, every day we'd hear a story about Donald Trump getting indicted, going to prison, the mainstream media saying that he was a threat to democracy. Now all of a sudden the media says nothing. The day after the election, they didn't even dispute the outcome of the fake election. We all figure that at the very least, the way that this script has been written over the years, that the mainstream media, if they said Donald Trump won, would come out and deny the results.
Yeah, I mean, the left, the Biden administration, Kamala, I mean, they stunk up the field, man. Things got significantly worse, and the Americans started to cry for some form of comfort, outside of the crazies, who are, that whole leftist, trans, ubiquitous community, those people are just bugged out of that. That's a part of the perverse spirit. You see, that's a part of the Lord setting up division. But a lot of Americans were like, hell nah, we need money in our pocket. We need things to get better. So they allowed the left to stink up the field to a point to now they're luring you by the right to gain trust in their whole ordeal. Okay? And Trump, as we've told you, he ain't finna save y'all asses. Okay? Again, it's two wings of the same eagle.
Of the election potentially leading to a digital ID, and we've heard nothing. Everything went silent the second they announced the selection of Donald Trump as president. And you could start to feel that people are starting to get a little bit weirded out because things have shifted. Suddenly, Trump isn't even the face of the new presidency. We're seeing him in the shadows, where Elon Musk is meeting with other leaders of other countries. And Elon Musk is telling all of us how he's going to change government, not Donald Trump. And you can see the people who are in MAGA, these conservatives, starting to get a little bit creeped out by what they're seeing. And when I said a Donald Trump heel turn, I'm obviously referencing professional wrestling, because for those of you that don't know, professional wrestling, the villain is called a heel, and the good guy is called what they would call a baby face. So a good guy and a bad guy, a heel and a baby face. Well, politics is a lot like wrestling. In fact, you may have noticed over the last couple of months leading up to the fake election, how many professional wrestlers were getting rolled out on national television to either endorse or not endorse Donald Trump, from Jesse the Body Ventura to obviously Hulk Hogan. And in wrestling, when they say a heel turn, it means when a good guy suddenly turns on the fans, suddenly turns from being a good guy into a bad guy. And specifically when we talk about Hulk Hogan, being that he spoke at the Republican National Convention, he was at the forefront of the MAGA movement leading up to the fake election, as ridiculous as that sounds. I mean, Hulk Hogan was...
Those of you 80s babies, you 90s, you remember, Hulk Hogan just, turned it to the bad guy and started what is called the NWO. All right? As a matter of fact, let's see if we can just look up a picture of that so you can see what he's talking about. Because they're showing you what they're getting ready to do. All right? Because remember, he was a real American. He used to come into the ring, and then all of a sudden he turned into a NWO, He turned into, Hollywood Hulk. He turned into the bad guy. And this is what Trump is about to do to you people. Okay? Why exactly did he turn to the NWO? New World Order. Because that's mimicking what they get, it's the same thing that's happening. He's breaking it down. All right, but let's keep listening.
On every single major media publication, media outlet. And of course, what's Hulk Hogan known for? Well, he's known for being a professional wrestler, which correlates with politics because it's one and the same. It's as fake as it comes. And Hulk Hogan, of course, is known for being the leader of the New World Order because when Hulk Hogan turned heel in professional wrestling, he led the alliance or the organization known as the New World Order. Being that he's aligned with Trump, and all of a sudden the media has calmed down and they like Donald Trump all of a sudden, and Elon Musk is stepping into the forefront. Now we hear what? We hear Donald Trump talking about bringing arguably the most wicked person on earth, Bill Gates, into Mar-a-Lago to meet with him. You would think now maybe this would be some type of smoke signal where they would say, wait a minute, what? I mean, this would be the equivalent of him having dinner with Hillary Clinton at Mar-a-Lago, would it not? You could sit there and you could say, well, that wasn't really Trump. He didn't tweet it out. Or they tweeted it out because they wanted to see a response. But everybody could feel that things have gotten a little bit weird since Donald Trump was put and selected as the next president of the United States. Things don't feel as one-sided as they used to be. The media isn't going after him day in and day out. And let me start here with meeting with Bill Gates, because this should sound alarms to everybody out there. Bill Gates, when Donald Trump was president, obviously Donald Trump is the one responsible for Operation Warp Speed. And what they told us was that people like Bill Gates weren't happy with the response from Donald Trump during Operation Warp Speed. Well, that was, of course, done by design because they didn't want you to think that Donald Trump was aligned with Bill Gates because they didn't want you to get suspicious of the vax. So obviously, when it got rolled out at first, conservatives got duped into getting it until, of course, they realized what it was. Now, not all conservatives, but a good majority did. And
he's talking about that juice. And yeah, Trump was responsible for Operation Warp Speed. All right, meaning we got to get this juice inside of as many people as we can get. Okay, because the end of his presidency marked, all right, the beginning of that 2020 fiasco, all right, with the Ovid, which the same thing is taking place now with, okay, the this bird thing, which we'll, get into that a little bit as well. All right.
Meeting with Bill Gates. Maybe I'll just show you this clip here of what he could ask Bill Gates when he meets him, since Bill Gates in his new documentary on Netflix, which I covered in a long video, which is available on the website, where I break it down entirely. Let me show you just a clip here where he could, if he's going to be collaborating with Bill. Well, here's Bill in his documentary talking to his daughter, about the next outbreak, how he's working on the next one. And of course, he laughs.
Yep, and we're here. All right, I'm going to be careful with this. Slow this down a little bit. And it's called What's Next with Bill Gates. All right, you can go and check that out on Netflix. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can probably find it somewhere else. Jake got them boxes. You can, Jake, with them boxes, Jake see any damn thing. All right, but check that out, because within that they brought up the charagma, but it was talking about basically how in this world to come, okay, AI is pretty much going to take over everything. All right, as you can see now, to give you an example. Okay, AI robots, all right, are becoming your chefs, your doctors, your teachers. All right, pretty soon they'll be your preachers. Okay, and what is this going to, for human beings, this is going to push you into that, those 15-minute cities. All right, where you don't have to worry about, working, you don't have to worry about this and this and that. We'll save you. All right, and AI will take over everything else. But this is an example of what he was talking about in that series, how pretty much, AI is going to take over everything. But they kept asking, well, what would this leave human beings? All right, AI robot chefs replacing U.S. jobs in restaurants as and kitchens as humans are being pushed out of the workforce. All right, and this is, this is kind of what he was talking about. Okay. AI now capable, and this is not medical information, we're just in the news, of spotting heart conditions before patients even have symptoms. So this is being pushed. AI is going to be salvation. Okay. Again, order out of chaos. Okay. Now AI is going to be able to spot heart conditions. All right. And I believe I had this article here. Inside the world's first AI sex doll brothel, with one big difference. It seems that not even the oldest profession is immune, all right, from the threat. So even you hoes are going to be replaced. Okay. OnlyFans, all that. AI is going to take over all of that. Prostitutes are now being replaced, all right, by intergalactic pleasure dolls. And, the human experience is so jacked up. People, all right, men and women are literally, all right, looking to dolls and AI to have relationships with. Okay, many of us are terrified AI will put us out of jobs. And it seems, all right, not even the oldest profession is immune from the threat. So even you hoes are going to be replaced. Okay? But let's go back to this video. Okay, this is madness. And y'all thought somehow Trump was going to save you from this, but he has Elon as a part of his cabinet for a reason, man. They basically telling you what they're getting ready to do.
It off, and then he goes into his office, and all of his employees, because he has a whole massive, obviously the Gates Foundation, he has a whole section of his company devoted to what? Real-time analysis of what people are saying about him online. So in other words, they literally have a massive computer operation with an algorithm that every time, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter, somebody hashtags or writes Bill Gates' name, it's getting sent to them there. And then all the keywords the algorithm is reading are getting set off in the algorithm so Bill Gates could monitor this, because Bill Gates is concerned that too many people are getting suspicious. So isn't it interesting that now that Elon Musk was a Democrat his entire life is suddenly aligned with Trump, and the MAGA supporters were all on board, but then got a little bit of a pushback recently because they feel like there's a little bit of overreach going on with him. They don't like the fact that Trump is in the shadows of Musk because they're little Trump fanboys, and they don't like...
And that technocracy is coming. Okay? The way of governing, you know, that's getting ready to all be out. You know, the president, all of that's getting ready to be out and replaced with a technocracy. But we'll tap into that as well.
Some of the things where Elon Musk is giving a lot of tech jobs to India versus America, they're starting to see it because we're starting to feel a heel shift. And this is the man right here, Bill Gates, who Donald Trump says, hey, Bill wants to meet with me. He didn't say that he's coming, but he wants to meet with me. And suddenly all these guys who were once anti-Trump, like Zuckerberg, Musk, Gates, and Bezos, all seem to be on board. Welcome to your AI governance.
The pandemic was definitely social media at its worst. And what if we have a pandemic that's 10 times worse and extreme measures are...
That may be a boy.
You're gonna think you're gonna cause it then. Don't
That's
say
right,
that.
I'm working
Don't
on
you
it.
say that. Cut that. Tell people something's gonna happen, and then when it happens, they're like, oh.
It's not funny.
Content that will go everywhere. Millions of views if you say it.
And what if we have a pandemic that's 10 times worse?
And
That's right, I'm working on
Don't you
it.
say that. Cut that.
I think Bill's biggest concern is misinformation about the topics of the issues he works on. Some conspiracy theories that include microchips, farm.
Conspiracy theories that include micro C-hips. Okay? And again, AI is gathering, just even us speaking his name right now, it's all being sent to a, you know, as he was talking about, it's all being sent to these locations where they're, you know, labeling people, you know, they're setting it up because AI is getting ready to start policing everything. You think Trump is against that? No. Okay, this is how man is going to have to be merged with machine. Because it's too unsafe out here. We have too many theories. We have too many this. We have too many that. In order for us to make this world safe, we're going to have to get these type of people out of the you know, off of these platforms, out of the world, okay? So that we can start our new world, man.
Land, vaccine technology, about puppeteering world affairs. This is a real-time dashboard of all the misinformation about you. These are all the posts and issues. This blue line is really just about climate. A lot of this is about puppeteering the food supply. Glad you're laughing. I found this to be particularly depressing.
So that's not paranoia for you. The guy literally has an algorithm built so that he can monitor every single social media site whenever a word is uttered. It doesn't even have to be hashtag. It's...
There you go. Let's get Ezekiel 28. Okay. Ezekiel 28:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, which is then is now the modern day prince of Tyrus. Okay. To the eugenicist cats, saying that us using this, tying it to Esau. All right. We're going off. Well, again, that which is then is now. Son of man, say to the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up. Okay, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the sea. So in the midst of the people, you know, he sits as God, and AI is going to ultimately help him to become God. It's going to help him to ultimately track, trace, but how much more when he's able to have everyone on a digital grid merged with, all right, machine. Okay, he'll be able to surveil even your thoughts. Because right now it's through what people speak or type or hashtag. Okay, well, what if someone is against them and they don't know it, and he's walking around as, you know, some sort of secret, you know, agent against them? Well, the Haragma will take care of that. because then they'll be able to read your thoughts, all right, and surveil everything you do from inside of your own body. So I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, which the seas represent the people. Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. As the scriptures say in, let's see, this is what we'll get. We'll get this, no thought escapeth him. It's the type of power he wants. The power that the Most High has. All right. Sirach 42, speaking of the Most High, in 18. That's why the scriptures say the heart is deep. He said he seeketh out the deep and the heart and considereth their crafty devices. This is the power the Most High has. The Lord knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. He declared the things that are past and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither is any word hidden from them. So this is the type of power Esau wants. And AI is just what he needed to get that. Okay, and you think they're going to use that to help you? No, they're going to use that to put more hell on you.
It's just uttered. That's how they get, the closed captioning in these videos. It's because the algorithm reads it. It could read, obviously, the words that are in. Nobody has to put in text for the algorithm to read. It reads the words. So every single video where his picture is or he's mentioned is going into this algorithm so they can make sure they know what you're talking about. And of course, these are all things that people don't seem to understand, right? Bill Gates backing carbon emission cowbird companies where they're trying to cut methane output, or Bill Gates.
You see them two horns coming out of his head? You see that? Come on now.
Where he's removing carbon from the air, putting in millions and millions of dollars to have a carbon vacuum, suck carbon out of the air. You heard them mentioning passing diseases through GMOs because Bill Gates has his hand in that. Or Bill Gates with the agriculture, owning all of this land and farming. Or even Bill Gates with his gigantic hydrogen-powered super yacht that he's sending out to sea, where he's clearly using the super yacht as an antenna to help steer and manipulate storms. Or the fact that Bill Gates himself is obviously responsible for the inoculation of so many children around the world. And part of this heel shift that we're seeing with Trump is obviously this feel of Elon Musk being at the forefront, but you're quietly hearing these other stories which are making people raise their eyebrows, like U.S. universities urging international students to return early amid fears of Trump's travel ban, almost like the feeling of more lockdown types of things coming, where, remember the expression about the border in America, the wall, where most people in 2016, like myself, we were talking about that wall wasn't being built to keep people out. It was being built to keep people in, to keep us in. Mix that up with travel bans and travel restrictions and more lockdowns, because again, all the lockdowns, conveniently, all these people forget they were under Donald Trump's watch. They forget about Operation Warp Speed. They forget about how false flags and psyops were. And when they see fake assassination attempts, because they don't want to believe it, they refuse to actually dissect the footage of the assassination attempt and say, that's not possible. There is no way that they could have missed him with the technology they have now with these DARPA bullets. If the deep state wanted him gone, they wouldn't have missed, and they wouldn't have done it on national TV. They would have done it, or could have done it, in a tunnel like they did to Diana. Or at the time when that happened, I said, if they want to do it, they could just do it on a golf course, because he's got a tee time so somebody can know where he is. And then what did they do a couple weeks later? Well, we had a false flag psyop on a golf course where they pretended that they were trying to take his life. And all this did was garner support for Trump. So these people have this Trump obsession because the government made life so miserable for everyone over the last 4 years. And specifically, the misery came from the media. Because every day that normal people heard these stories about, or saw these stories of, the White House hosting transgenders, or they want to come for your kids, or they're allowing this in libraries, or your tax money is going to Ukraine, the more they put those out there, they knew how people would respond. They'd be angry and upset. So they made things so bad, and then they propped up Trump so high that these people literally will refuse to believe right in front of their faces when Trump turns heel on them. Trump could come out tomorrow and say, we're implementing AI governance, and they won't blink. And people like me will say, do you know that AI governance is literally the blueprint for the New World Order? It's literally what is discussed at the World Economic Forum. In fact, the World Economic Forum calls themselves the AI governance, right? So when we start seeing it implemented, will they turn a blind eye? Well, it's very clear that they will, because we see that with Jeffrey and his island and the pictures of them being connected to each other, and all the same people who believe in that psyop conveniently just say, oh, well, he didn't know he was doing that, because they don't want to believe the truth. And now if we continue to see a heel turn like this, where Donald Trump is meeting with Bill Gates, like I said, he just met with Zuckerberg and Bezos. These are two of the most despised people, specifically Zuckerberg, over the last decade or so. Left and right, Democrats and Republicans, civilians hate Mark Zuckerberg, but specifically more so Republicans. And he's meeting with Donald Trump all of a sudden, a guy who was banning free speech on social media, right? It's amazing how convenient it is for all these people to forget what just happened 8 years ago, because all the censorship began with Donald. All of it. I was right at the forefront in 2016. Right at the forefront with all of us. We all got wiped off. That's the first time they actually did a run where they wiped everyone off the internet. It was right after that event occurred at that pizza place. And then from that point on, as people were trying to get back into the space, we obviously had the outbreak towards the end of Trump's campaign, and they wiped everybody out again, right? Well, do you think it was Trump who wiped everyone out, or do you think it was the deep state? Because who was the one who rolled out Operation Warp Speed? So these people are going to believe whatever they want to believe. Trump can meet with Bill Gates, and they'll turn a blind eye. Just like they turned a blind eye when we heard about draining the swamp in 2016. We all heard the psyop back then. I was yelling from the rooftops. He's not going to drain a swamp. He's not going to go in and arrest all these people from the pizza ring. He's not going to do any of that. And what happened? Nothing happened. Nothing occurred. And all people did was just conveniently forget about it because they didn't want to turn on him, because they have this motto where they say, well, it could be a lot worse. What's the lesser of two evils? Well, it's better him than her than Hillary, right? And now it's, oh, well, I'd rather have Trump than Joe Biden, the Joe Biden bot falling downstairs, or I should say upstairs, because it can't even walk or communicate. And then you slowly see the integration of the New World Order. And guess what? Your mind is going to say, no, that's not what this is. That's not what this is. That's not what AI governance is. Getting rid of the Department of Education, getting rid of the IRS. No. This is all great, good things. And then you realize, wait a minute, it's all trap. It's all to tickle your ears and make you say, oh, this is great. I hate the IRS. Well, you're still going to be paying your taxes. It's just going to be electronically deducted out of your bank account. You're not going to have to file the paperwork. What did he do? Guess what? You're not going to have any, give backs to you either. And the other things that the Department of Education, it's done by design. They want educational AI governance. Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about taking the police away. Who's going to replace that?
Okay, it's done by design. They make you want to get the Department of Education changed, because over the last 4 years, they've been talking about how schools are putting in curriculum that says white people are racist, and how the curriculum is...
They recently showed you this police department beating up a Jake. You've heard this big push of defund the police. That's all by their means. Basically, the police department, is a waste of our tax dollars. So what's going to be the solution to all of these issues is AI, technology, merging man with machine. And Trump is on board with it. And he's linking himself with the very people to prove it.
Saying that books like Two Dads, right? Everyone's going, I don't want my kids. We need an education overhaul. And guess what? It's AI overhaul. That's the name of the game here. That's what must-roll is. You'll see Bates creep into this. And Donald Trump even suggesting meeting with Bill Gates should get these people to start waking up, seeing how all these people that have been hand-selected to this cabinet are talking about other countries like India. What happened to America first? You know that those people who are MAGA are feeling it. It's just a matter of whether or not they'll accept it or not, because they're programmed so deep into the matrix with the left-right paradigm that it's them who are refusing to get out. Remember that quote from the Matrix? That many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. Well, it's the same thing. These people are so hopelessly dependent on the party, on the Republican Party, and on Donald Trump, because psychologically they deliberately made life so miserable for people the last 4 years that they're going to fight, in their own minds at least, to protect and defend Donald Trump to their last breath, even when he's aligned with people like Bill Gates. Watch, because the heel turn is coming. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing him do some things. You're going, wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, they're talking about jobs in other countries. Wait a minute.
Yep. Again, the Lord said he's going to set Egypt. He's going to set a cruel tyrant over Egypt. All right. We know Revelation, and this is a good one. This is Daniel 8:25. Though, this is speaking of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? The same, the same mindset applies to the rulers of this world. All right. Because again, remember, this system started with the Greeks, all right? When you go back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, the beginning of this very system started with the Greeks, Alexander, okay? And eventually from Alexander came his 4 generals, which out of the Seleucid Empire came Antiochus. And this is one of his tricks. Daniel 8:25, and through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall he destroy many. Okay, so by peace, ultimately, they're going to destroy your ass. Because once this great fall comes, what's going to be the solution? All right, well, there you go. Technocracy is going to be the solution. And as this article says here, all right, whoever leads in AI, all right, okay, which is pretty much artificial wisdom, okay, the new wave of how this world will be controlled, okay, the part of their industry 4.0, fourth industrial revolution, right? And what is the fourth industrial revolution? Okay. See what AI says. And they're even taking over certain searches, you know. Let's see here. The fourth industrial revolution refers to a current period of rapid technological advancement characterized by the merging of physical, digital, and biological spheres driven by technologies like AI, robotics, and the Internet of Things. And you also have the Internet of Bodies. The Internet of Bodies is an ecosystem of internet-connected devices that monitor the human body and collect personal biometric data. Okay, because things are going to be so bad, all right, that this is going to be the solution. All right, and Trump is all for it. Let's listen to a little bit of this article.
24. Technocracy is the Great Reset. By Kit Knightley via Off Guardian. Go ahead. Play the cat, trapped in a simulacrum, chasing the laser pointer around the house. The biggest story of 2024 will also be the biggest story of 2025, that we are perilously close to full-blown technocracy. Hemingway famously quipped, "How did you go bankrupt? 2 ways. Gradually, then suddenly. Totalitarianism is like that." Patrick Wood, editor. As the embers of 2024 spit out their dying sparks and tendrils of smoke corkscrew into 2025, I want to ask, what were the important news stories of this year? Most people will say something international. The war in Ukraine, the atrocities in Gaza, the fall of Assad. Maybe some will cite elections. It was a big year for voting after all. A global shift change in the corridors of power saw a dozen governments swapped out for new faces. With 2 weeks of the year left, it's still possible Trudeau, Macron, or Schultz may join the procession. The tech-minded might talk about advancements in artificial intelligence. Those are the big stories of 2024. The banner headlines. Sound and fury and all that signifies. But were they the most important? No, the important story of 2024 was the Great Reset. Remember that? It was this pan-global supranational plan to tear down and then rebuild society in a sustainable, inclusive, fair and secure way that would, totally accidentally, eradicate civil liberties and individual freedom for every single person on the planet. It was all the rage a few years ago, you might remember. But when it didn't go over too well with a lot of people, the powers that be dropped the subject and there's been very little talk about it since 2022. Does that mean it's gone away? We need to have object permanence in politics as in all things. Something doesn't cease to exist just because you can't see it anymore. The world doesn't vanish when you close your eyes. The Great Reset is still the plan. It's still happening. It's just distributed now. A compartmentalized strategy uploaded to the cloud, everywhere and nowhere. 1 million nanobots working 1 million angles to change 1 million tiny rules and build 1 million tiny cells. Like the end of The Usual Suspects, stand the right distance back and you can see the pattern. Just last week, the UK's Chief Medical Officer Chris Whitty published his annual health report. What does he recommend? Sin taxes on unhealthy foods in 15-minute cities. Labour have already increased sin taxes on sugar, salt, alcohol and tobacco. Next comes red meat, dairy and just carbon in general. Earlier this year the UK introduced licensing for keeping chickens. They banned smoking too. By 2035 it will be impossible to buy a new petrol car in the UK. Or the EU. Or Canada. Or New Zealand. Or Australia. Or Mexico. Or South Africa. Or California, and 11 other US states. From that point you and your car will be anchored to charging points. Even better, your new car will probably have automatic drive features, speed limiters, and remote kill switches. This week, all of a sudden, the news tells us that wood burning stoves cause cancer. A ban is already being discussed. Since coal is already a no-no for domestic users, since 2023, there effectively goes your last chance of energy and heat independence. If they ban stoves, there will be no heating available to you that can't be hooked up to a smart meter, surveilled, controlled. Unless you count burning a candle inside a plant pot. And they're coming for those too. The much publicized murder of Sarah Sharif has already been parlayed into a new bill taking away parents' automatic right to homeschool their children, if the state deems them vulnerable. Digital IDs are coming for everyone from everywhere. Here's just a selection of reasons. To secure the border and ensure electoral integrity in the US. To protect children on social media in Australia. To promote efficiency in the EU. To combat illegal immigration in the UK. To track migrant workers in Russia. Because they said so in China. The EU wants to establish an asset register and biometric tracking across borders. Online anonymity is being eroded with each hate crime attributed to disinformation and hate speech. There is persistent and consistent talk of rationing, food and water and travel. Ban it. Ration it. Monitor it. Control everyone's everything. Can't you see the walls closing in? These are not disparate issues. They are heads on a hydra. They form the universal silent agenda that is everywhere. They are bipartisan and crossbench. They are the things unquestioned, sanctioned and approved by both sides of every fake divide. The people at the apex of the pyramid
both sides of every fake divide
literally spent 2 years talking about this, telling you it was the plan and how great it was going to be. Then, when it didn't take, they spent 2 more years pretending they never said it and distracting you with other things like UFOs.
Diddy and all of this other crap. All right?
Taylor Swift. ChatGPT. Race baiting. They are building a prison around every single person on this planet while we argue about Hunter Biden and QAnon and transgender bathrooms. The drones over New Jersey, supposing there's anything really there at all, may as well be a giant jangling keychain in the sky. That's what all of it is. The elections. The terrorism. The scandals. The leaked reports. It's a laser pointer. It stops the cat from playing with the things he shouldn't play with. Today is my birthday. I'm hurtling, faster than I expected or desired.
So there you go. This is what's next. This is what all of what you've been seeing is going to lead to, okay? And it's all going to be digital, okay? Let's play some of this. What is a technocracy? Let's play a little bit of this article as well.
Technocracy is an apparently naive attempt by a small group of engineers, economists, sociologists and other boffins to address all social, economic and political problems, as they perceive them. This would allegedly be done by replacing the Western capitalist system and, in particular, the monetary system with technocracy. For the rest of the article we'll call this group and its leading members, such as Howard Scott, the technocrats. Some of the technocrats' ideas, such as their critique of the price system, monetary system, and the legal system, were not without merit. Their clueless but nonetheless noble objective to provide lives of abundance to the people was commendable. Like many seemingly well-intentioned ideologues, the technocrats' many epistemic shortcomings, such as their complete failure to even acknowledge motivation, rendered technocracy the perfect tool for authoritarians. In the hands of those who are motivated to exert global power, technocracy provides them total behavioral control of the world's population. Hence technocracy's appeal to the parasite class. In the technocracy model, class in the socio-economic sense is supposedly eliminated. This is another short-sighted failing of the technocrat modelers. Technocracy creates the most rigid class structure imaginable. In their efforts to rid us of the class system, the technocrats base their proposed hierarchical social structure on their farcical notion of peck rights.
So this is what's coming. Okay? Let's get the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. Okay? Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. And he's been exposed. Okay? He all of his plans are out there. He can't hide no more. He's the man of sin. Okay? And he's the accuser of the brethren. Okay? And you best believe there's getting ready to be a great accusation, you see, against you Israelites, man. And if you're not rooted, all right, you're going to figure out a reason to be down with their plan and to be down with their accusation against us and ultimately choose this world to say that we're the crazy ones, right? Which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, which covers us, okay? Gives us the Holy Spirit, and it promises that when he returns, he delivers us out of this place, man. So nothing, none of our sins can be blamed. None of these accusations they're going to come with stand against the elect, and by the word of their testimony. And they love not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is coming down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. And that great wrath is going to be centered around, okay, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma. This is part of that new government in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, okay? And, they're talking about, digital currencies. All of these things are a part of, the new world that they're getting ready to bring, man. Okay. And the demic and everything that we're starting to see, boast itself. All right. As you can see,
a new bird flu mutation, H5N1, has been discovered in a patient in the US state of Louisiana. Public health officials are concerned the new strain may rapidly develop, increasing its ability to affect humans.
As the number of bird flu cases continues to climb, there's new evidence the virus is evolving. According to the CDC, a genetic analysis suggests the virus mutated inside a Louisiana patient.
So there you go. I mean, we can already see, okay, the bird thing. Okay, we see all of that fog out there. They're basically telling you openly they're poisoning the food. Okay, 1 million chickens. Okay, beef flu detected in nearly 1 million chickens in the southwestern Ohio County. Okay. Former health commissioner says Biden administration should be making rapid tests available and asks, all right, the FDA to authorize the already existing, all right, juice. So here, I mean, it's a replay. Now we're getting ready to see a replay of the same thing, but this time it's going to be even worse. And this time they're going to crack down hard on people who are speaking against it, and they're going to use AI to police, jail people who are speaking against these things. Right? The writing is on the wall. As your boy here says, what? Okay? All right? The man who's at the forefront of this fourth industrial revolution talk. Because they got so many things going, but he's saying the sea change is the next big virus with restrictions worse than the Ovid. Okay? See that? So what do we have to look forward to in 2025 is tyranny as well.
So is an awareness now generally, it's generally accepted that climate change, if we do not tackle with it, could be the next big, let's say, virus with much more damaging and long-term consequences compared to COVID-19. So
even more, okay. So what happened back then? All those shutdowns. Okay, it's gonna be more restrictions. Okay, so these devils are onto it. They're moving forward with their plan. All right, King Charles signs treaty authorizing one world government. Okay, King Charles has openly declared that the elite must launch a vast military-style campaign to combat sea change, while calling for nothing less than a complete rewriting of the economy, global economy. He has even suggested that traditional farming practices and the livelihoods of countless farmers should be sacrificed in the name of substantiality. So this is what you got to look forward to, all right, with these devils in 2025. And y'all thought Trump was against this, but he's slowly but surely merging himself with the very people, okay, that are bringing this, man. And he's not gonna stop it. All right, as you can see here, Generation Alpha. All right, 2025 marks the start of Generation Beta. Okay, experts predict that babies born in 2025 and later will grow up integrated with AI. See, integrated with AI. What do you think they're talking about? Okay, that charagma, man. Okay, it's getting ready to go down. All right, let's get a few more videos here.
The government's changing the law to force businesses to take cash for essential items like groceries and fuel. The Assistant Treasurer says he may carve small businesses out, but that cash provides an essential fallback when digital payments break down.
We've all been standing at a queue in a supermarket or a shop somewhere and they say the FPOS or the payment system's gone down, the power's out. We want to ensure that that doesn't become a crippling event right across the economy.
I think arguably we're already cashless. So at the moment we're sitting about 13% of transactions done in cash. Whether it will never get to completely zero, I think that's ridiculous. But at what point are we cashless? Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's not. So look, we're already there. We've taken cash and replaced cash with debit cards. So there's now 47 million debit card transactions, $50 per transaction. Sorry, 47 million cards at $50 per transaction. That's soaked up most of the cash usage. There's also other payment methods we use, but that's essentially what's happened.
I think the banks want Australia to become even more cashless. I'm not sure what your views are on whether or not that's a good thing. I mean, the banks argue that it's just too expensive to maintain that supply of cash, especially when you have to, pay contractors to, protect the cash and transport it great distances to the regions.
Look, I think there's a number of arguments in this, and one of them is that we're now paying for debit card transactions through surcharges. So we've soaked up all the cash, moved it to debit cards. We're now paying for that, but now we've got to pay for cash as well. At a certain point, I think the banks are going to have to make a decision about what business they're in and what the shape of these businesses actually are. Because I'm of the view that at a certain point, maybe the payments market is something that we need to consider more of as a utility than something to make money out of. So 13% is causing problems for the banks, and I'm not sure they'll get a lot of sympathy for that. But
things are gonna go cashless, man.
Our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today.
Right. They want total control, total tracking, right? All power. And that's what the digital money will give them, Then you have blockchain. Nothing everything will be, there's always be a trace of it. See what you bought, what you're doing. So this gives them full control. Okay. And, we harp on these things, right? But this is what John the Revelator saw. Okay.
A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability, and also we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
Welcome back. Today, we're exploring the potential architecture of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, as proposed by the Bank for International Settlements and the European Central Bank. CBDC architectures are designed to balance privacy, security, and efficiency. One of the key models proposed by the ECB is the intermediated model. In this model, the central bank issues the CBDC and manages the core infrastructure. Meanwhile, financial intermediaries, such as commercial banks and payment service providers, are responsible for offering customer services. The central bank's role includes ensuring the security and integrity of the CBDC system, maintaining high levels of privacy, and overseeing efficient transaction processing. This approach aims to provide a robust and trustworthy digital currency framework. Financial intermediaries play a crucial role by handling day-to-day interactions with customers, managing accounts, and providing additional services. This separation of duties helps to mitigate risks and distribute responsibilities effectively. The BIS and ECB have established several guidelines to ensure that CBDC systems are secure, interoperable, and scalable. These guidelines include principles for data governance, system resilience, and user-centric design. Interoperability is particularly important, as it allows CBDCs to integrate seamlessly with existing payment systems and other digital currencies, fostering a more connected financial ecosystem. Scalability ensures that the CBDC system can handle large volumes of transactions without compromising performance or security, while user-centric design focuses on making the system accessible and convenient for all users. As central banks continue to refine the architecture of CBDC systems, it's clear that these digital currencies hold the potential to revolutionize the way we transact.
Oh, here we are. Cripple Hulk, can Swift integrate with mBridge for CBDCs? Could they just get rid of Ripple completely? Well, there's a meeting at Sibos, and Mr. Changan, you know who he is. Well, actually, I don't. But he said that mBridge could connect to traditional payment systems, including real-time gross settlement. Really, and it's involved right here with China, Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, and all that, and the BIS. Guess what, Crypto Hulk Scott? There's a company called Thunes. They're linked in with Swift and about 3 billion wallets, and they're linked in with banks. How does Thunes do it? Well, right here. Thunes is connected to Aduajarfa banking via Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain. It's not Ethereum. Here's the BIS, Bank for International Settlements, the bank of all the banks in the world. My name's Crypto Hulk. Live stream today, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Get it.
India has joined the global CBDC race with its digital rupee, launched by the Reserve Bank of India. Currently in the pilot phase, the digital rupee is being tested for specific use cases like wholesale transactions and retail payments. The goal is to enhance the efficiency of the financial system while reducing dependency on physical cash. The digital rupee could revolutionize how Indians transact, making payments quicker and more secure.
Global financial system.
We've grown up under a system of government where the bankers run monetary policy, but the people's representatives run fiscal policy. That's what the Revolutionary War was about. It was about taxation with or without representation. Now, if you're going to consolidate and collapse the system into the bankers on a very central basis, being able to control and operate both monetary and fiscal system, you're moving out of a world where we've known personal freedom and liberty into a world where it's what Augustine Carson's, the head of the BIS, said. We can make the rules centrally, and we have the technology to enforce those rules. In other words, we decide when and how and where you can spend your money. So let's go back to the pandemic. If you get central digital control in an all digital monetary system, and I don't care, what vehicle you use to do it, whether it's a Federal Reserve CBDC or Ripple or Bitcoin or something else we create, WorldCoin, if you do that, you are walking into a digital concentration camp. And that means, go back to the pandemic, if they don't want you going more than a mile from your house, your money won't work more than a mile from your house. Your electric car won't work more than a mile from your house. If they don't want you buying pizza, your money won't buy pizza. And you can't pay cash for pizza because you're in an all digital monetary system.
A digital concentration camp. Okay? And this is all in line. Okay? And you can watch those videos. This was GMS Vegas. Sit downs 144K. The Arrows of Indignation was 144 was the last one. And there's so much happening, man. There's so much to speak on. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified. We'll be back with more, but hey, at the end it shall speak and not lie. Shalom.